What if I told you the richest man in history wasn't a tech mogul or an industrialist, but a 14th century Malian king? A king who in the year 1324 set out on a journey so transformative that it would change the world forever. His name was Mansa Musa. In Mandinka, Mansa is a title for hereditary ruler, and as the ruler of the Mali Empire, he commanded a realm rich in gold, culture, and knowledge. But his pilgrimage to Mecca, that was more than an act of faith. It was a message, a declaration of power, generosity, and ambition that echoed across continents. How did one journey elevate a kingdom and reshape history? And what can we learn from Mansa Musa's epic journey about transforming wealth into lasting impact? This is the story of a king's legendary pilgrimage, and 3 key lessons it still holds for us today. At the height of the Mali Empire under Mansa Musa, the wealth was so vast, it felt like the land itself was made of gold. Traders from distant lands spoke of its riches in hushed, awestruck tones, and rivers of gold seemed to flow through its bustling markets. But for Mansa Musa, the treasure that surrounded him was not the end of his story. It was merely the beginning. He would sit in his grand court, watching merchants barter over glittering coins and gleaming artifacts, and wonder, what good is wealth if it fades like footprints in the sand? Mansa Musa knew that gold, no matter how abundant, could vanish as quickly as it was mined. To make it last, he realized, it had to be turned into something enduring, something that could shape the future. And so, the king began to dream, his vision stretching far beyond the borders of Mali. It was not enough for his empire to be wealthy. He wanted it to be remembered. He wanted its name to echo across continents, its influence woven into the fabric of history itself. This profound realization became the spark for a journey, a pilgrimage that would not only transform his kingdom, but forever change the world's perception of Africa. The year was 1324, and the world had never seen a journey quite like this. Mansa Musa, the mighty king of Mali, set out on a pilgrimage to Mecca that would not only fulfill his faith, but rewrite history itself. Behind him stretched a caravan so massive it seemed to blend into the horizon. 60,000 men and women traveled with him, soldiers, servants, merchants, and scholars, escorting hundreds of camels laden with gold, silks, and spices. As they crossed the vast Sahara, word of the caravan spread like wildfire, reaching cities long before Musa did. In every town they passed, the people marveled at the sheer scale of his wealth. But this wasn't a mere display of extravagance. It was a calculated statement. Musa wanted the world to know Mali wasn't just rich. It was a land of power and prosperity. When the caravan finally arrived in Cairo, it was as if gold rained from the skies. Musa's generosity was legendary. He handed out gold to the poor, showered gifts upon the rulers, and spent so lavishly that he disrupted the local economy. The sudden influx of wealth caused inflation that lingered for over a decade. Yet, this was no reckless act of charity. It was a masterstroke. Musa was ensuring that Mali's name would echo across kingdoms as a land of unimaginable riches. When he reached Mecca, he fulfilled a deeply personal spiritual duty, kneeling in reverence at the Grand Mosque. Yet even here, his vision extended beyond devotion. He forged alliances with Islamic leaders, shared knowledge with scholars, and planted the seeds of partnerships that would transform Mali. By the time he returned home, it brought back scholars, architects, and merchants who would turn Mali into a thriving center of learning and culture. When Mansa Musa returned from his pilgrimage, He returned with knowledge, ideas, and connections that would transform Timbuktu into a hub of learning and culture. He built libraries and universities, inviting scholars from around the world. Timbuktu became synonymous with knowledge and wisdom, a beacon that drew intellectuals from far and wide. He poured his wealth into building mosques, ensuring that spirituality and faith were woven into the fabric of his empire. These projects weren't just about religion. They symbolized his commitment to serving a higher purpose. Mansa Musa's reign ended centuries ago, but his legacy endures. The wealth he used wisely, the institutions he built, and the knowledge he fostered have outlasted even his gold. His story isn't just history. It's a blueprint, a reminder that true success is measured not by what you have, but by what you leave behind. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to uncover more stories from history's greatest figures.